Hey everybody, it's Eduardo Jackson back again with one of our fan favorite people and fan favorite podcasts. It is your Friday morning weekend preview and call sheet review with the one, the only Jay Devlin. Say hello to the people, Jay.
Ed, good to be back on the show, man. After a week's hiatus, I'm ready to climb back into the top 10.
Damn straight. So let's take a look at some of the call sheets from this week. We've seen another uptick in entries, even though we've reduced some of the size of the contests. So we appreciate everyone who's turned out. We will concentrate mostly on the feature presentation, but maybe we'll have time to take a look at some other call sheets. So let's see what everybody's working with. So do you want to start with yours, Jay? Let's start with yours. Let's see what you got, what your philosophy is behind your call sheet construction this week. So give us the philosophy. Like, so what were you going for in your call sheet this week?
So you and I did the full pot earlier in the week, and I bet you that Doctor Strange would do less than 65 million, and actually went as far as to predict it would do like 47 million.
With 2-to-1 odds, I might add.
And
so
I
this will
gave you
get me
2-to-1 odds. I am not one of the better gamblers in the history of the world, because every projection I see has between 65 and 70, and I saw several that said $88 million for this movie. Now,
So as far as Doctor Strange goes, I did go see it last night after everything locked and loaded. Went and see it, D-box seats, 3D, the whole nine, like $25 ticket, damn near. And so the seats are shaking, it's moving, and it's biting off Inception here and there, and it's pretty much just for the diehards. And Marvel's usually really good at bringing in new people to establish franchises. I don't quite get the appeal of Doctor Strange. I think it actually will top out around 70 million tops. The 85 to 88, I just don't see it unless the nerd fanboys like buy and see it 3 or 4 times. But and as far as the theater goes, it was about half empty, which it was a 10:30 show. It was late, I get it, but it was half empty, which doesn't necessarily scream $88 million open to me. So those are my thoughts.
that was my whole point. It's like 88 million seems like a freaking ton, considering we have not seen a movie do 40 million. I think since I started playing this game, since you went live with the game, the biggest opening might have been Magnificent Seven, if I remember correctly, like 39 million.
Yeah.
So to double that, like during the holidays when people are busy, I don't know, just 88 million seemed like a lot. That being said, I am like, as much as I'm a sucker for when Taco Bell, like I'm a sucker for marketing. So if I see Taco Bell comes out with like a new taco, I immediately go and buy it the next day. So when I read 2 sites like Box Office Mojo or Box Office Pro telling me that this movie is going to make 80 million, then in my mind, I'm like, I have to have 2 headliners from that, and then I'll just punt everywhere else. Because if it does 80 million, I'm gonna get 200 points minimum, and 200 points in this game is a lot of points.
It's a lot of points, and this goes back to like the theory I had. I think it was during the hour-long pod this week. And apologies to all listeners, especially you poor podcast listeners who may have heard some distortion or some echo. That's my bad. We will definitely get that under control next time we do a podcast. But I think one of the things we were discussing is that this might be one of those weekends where the box office expands because Trolls is also coming out. So while Doctor Strange is going to get its money, I think there's a lot of money to be gotten this weekend with Trolls. So I'm very curious to see how that performs, and I'm also really interested to see how I Dil Hai Mushkil, the Indian film as we call it around here, will perform in its second week. Because even if it doesn't do more than say 1 or 1.2 million, you're still getting a lot of points there in the platform release category.
Absolutely, and you said like we kind of did the math on the pod earlier in the week. If it gets you 12 points at a platform release, 8,000. I mean, that's pretty good points. And the fact that I was able to sneak one of those in, with the 2 headliners from Doctor Strange made me happy. I rolled with a little Moonlight because Moonlight.
Yeah, that's inspired because I mean, at 83 screens, I mean, it has a shot to have a serious hold. Like, it may not improve upon its $950,000 gross last week, but I could see a world in which it gets another 700, 800,000 because it actually doubled its screen. So this is very interesting. I really like this part of your call sheet. I really do. You got actually 2 Moonlights, not headliners, but you were able to squeeze it in salary wise, and the ideal, rolling the dice on the Indian film, getting at least one more week of box office, bang in platform release, and this is a pretty solid call sheet, Jay Devlin. I expect nothing less at this point.
And again, the beautiful thing about this game is that the game theory changes every single week. And usually, I remember talking a few weeks ago when we were like, well, you should probably have like almost all headliners in your lineup. That's probably a really good strategy. Well, looking at my call sheet, I only have 2 headliners.
Oh, great point. Yeah, 2 stars.
And it just goes to show that, like, I don't know, my call sheet might suck at the end of the day. I don't know, but there's no, every week it's like an organically changing thing that, like, your strategy, you almost have to start over from scratch in your thought process.
Absolutely, and even going to, and let's take a look at another player's call sheet, BTTF, the guy who came out of nowhere just to wreck shop, winning 4 of the 5 contests a few weeks ago. He came in, I think he topped out at 5th at the feature presentation last week. So it definitely changes week to week. And looking at his call sheet, he's betting on Hacksaw Ridge. He's going
no chance.
He's going for quantity over quality, maybe.
This call sheet has 0 chance at all.
Going back to one of our quote-unquote favorite podcast hosts, if you don't have Doctor Strange, you are going to lose.
I don't know. I think I said this once before about Mike Strenger's. I was like, this call sheet has no chance, and then he finished 3rd. So,
So what do we know, right?
So what do we know? But I just don't see, if a movie is going to do 80 million and you don't at least have one actor from it, how you
okay, so here's what I'm thinking BTTF's idea might be behind his call sheet, is that Trolls is gonna do about 40, 45 overperforms, right? So these are so you're gonna get about 60 points out of these 2 each. So that's like 120 right there. And if Hacksaw Ridge, and actually I wonder if we can take a look at some of the estimates.
What's Hacksaw's gonna do, like what, 10 million?
I didn't really even look for Hacksaw during most of these during most of these projections. Oh wow, Doctor Strange cast 9.4 million on. Oh, and okay, all right. Let's all right. Thursday night box office report. They're saying that Hacksaw Ridge took in 750. They took in almost $1 million at midnight or at night. That's pretty strong for a movie.
That is pretty strong.
Wow, maybe, man, BTTF might know something that we don't. That's pretty. I mean, Doctor Strange 9.4 million is actually a really excellent start for nighttime shows.
That's more than Inferno did last Thursday. Hacksaw.
Not even for Thursday. That's more than Inferno did probably last Friday too. I mean, it only made like 14 million. That's like half Inferno's take for the weekend last week. So yeah, so this is going to be a very, very interesting box office. Was the weekend forecast? I just want to see real quick what they had for Hacksaw Ridge, because it looks like.
All right, so let's say it does 14. Max it out at 14. He's got 5 guys, 50. So he gets like another.
He's got a 6-pack.
He does have a 6-pack.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, if that movie does 15 mil and Trolls does 45, I mean, okay, this could be.
Break out the calculators, y'all. This is going to be very interesting.
This could be pure genius. I just didn't see the appeal in this Hacksaw Ridge movie. I mean,
I'm interested. It might be my Saturday morning matinee at the reclining seat theater. I'm interested. I mean, I'll give it $5 to $7. I'm good with that.
I love Clint. I love Flags of Our Fathers. Read the book, fantastic. Clint does war movies well. Clint does everything well.
Spoiler alert: Mel Gibson directed this.
Oh, it's not a Clint Eastwood movie.
No, it feels like a Clint Eastwood movie, doesn't it?
It does totally feel like a Clint Eastwood movie.
Hacksaw Ridge. It's I mean, and you don't see Mel Gibson's name on any of the marketing either. Look at that, Mel freaking Gibson.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, because he knows he needs to ingratiate himself after he pissed off most of Hollywood with what he done said. We'll just leave it at that. What he done said. All right, so let's take a look at my call sheet real quick, because mine's a little bit off the board. And actually I've got a couple other off-board ones I want to show you. So I decided and I meant to swap this one out. This is just dead money right here. Keep up with the Joneses, but whatever. It's essentially a punt. So basically I decided to do one Doctor Strange and ride hard with Trolls and Ideal Mushkil. And this is actually probably not my best call sheet. I won't lie. Like Handmaidens is kind of filler. I wanted to do more Trolls as possible. I have one call sheet that entirely fades Doctor Strange, and I'll tell you why. But I think that you can get some really good value out of Trolls at a headliner. I got a little Strange, got me some Strange. And with Ideal Mushkil as a headliner, I'm banking that's going to do something. And Handmaiden, actually, even though our system erroneously has it at 5 screens, it's actually I think it's expanded out to 76 screens, I believe. So it's actually got some. It's got some sex appeal as far as theater count.
Man,
Anyway, so it's out there. So
Trolls is in a lot of movie theaters. Holy moly, 4,000.
yeah, that's confidence. and it's funny because I was watching, our beloved MTV, or at least my beloved MTV, since you've previously eschewed the reality staple that is the Real World. I did see some Trolls marketing while watching Real World this week, so it's out there. It's definitely out there.
Look, Trolls is going to be huge, and my initial strategy was going to be to go like really heavy on Trolls, thinking Strange would only do about like 55 million and Trolls would do like 40 million.
Mm-hmm.
Then it made sense you could almost even talk yourself into fading Doctor Strange if you were going to go heavy on Trolls. But when you start seeing like 88 million for Strange,
you have to have it.
You have to have it. So
I think my call sheet the best. Here it is. Here's the one where I totally faded Doctor Strange, and this is definitely a high variance, high risk, high reward call sheet. I've got 4 Trolls with both the headliners. I've got 2 Moonlights because once again at 83 screens, just break 1 million, please. Then we're talking 20 points from these 2 guys, and then I'm pretty much punting everywhere else. I don't know. It's risky because you're expecting 60-ish points from the 2 headliners and then another 40 each. Then you're pretty much at 200 points between the 4 of these. Plus you have space left over not to just totally give away the rest of your call sheet. I mean, if these do another 20, I mean, then you're at like 240.
Yeah.
It's a risk. I mean, it's the $50 best boy. I mean, no, it's not all the way full. We actually had a lot more players than we had last week in the feature presentation. So I know only the creme de la creme of strategies is going to be coming out in this contest.
I am the anti-Skip Bayless right now because it only took me 5 minutes to go back on an earlier statement I said. I think the guy with Hacksaw Ridge is actually a genius.
BTTF? You
Yeah.
hear that? You're a genius. The APB is out, man. Now we've paid you out. We know where you live, at least with the email. Holla at your boys. Come on the show. Let us into your genius, please. Just give us a glimpse. Just give us a glimpse.
Dude, I didn't even look at Hacksaw Ridge. I didn't even I just immediately went to page 2 on the call sheet. I was like, I am not about a guy running around in a war with no weapons. And fucking and
Vince America, we got weapons.
Yeah, I mean, you got Vince Vaughn in a war movie. Like, what is this? Like old school at war? I don't know. It did not look good to me. I cannot believe it opened up that big last night.
Yeah, that is a really big opening for what it seems to be like a middling budget, middle, type of movie. But I mean, maybe it goes back to like what they call counter programming. Maybe it's just there's a counter program against all of the the younger skewing stuff with some a little bit more mature film. I mean, when you think Gibson, you think of like hardcore drama. So this might be for the hardcore drama set. And I'm looking at Jaybird's call sheet right now, and he went with his Doctor Stranges, punted pretty much everywhere else. Although he did sneak in a headliner at Moonlight. Smart, very, very nice. I like this call sheet to an extent. I think you're going to need a little more than just pure puntage when it comes to the rest of your call sheet. Like I like what you did with getting in an ideal high Mushkil. That was pretty smart. This one, I think this is a top 10 call sheet. I just think he's going to need a little bit more than headliner and Moonlight and punting the rest in order to survive.
Yeah, I think him and I had similar ideas on how to make a call sheet, and I like what he did, but like you said, you need a little more of like Moonlight and those platform movies, man. They're sneaky.
That's where you're gonna. I mean, and for all new players who might be listening for the first time this week. Oh, and that's right. I couldn't get it. That's right. We had a glitch, so I had to excuse myself from the background talent. That I had a really innovative call sheet for background talent. I think. Let me see if I can find it again. I think I put it in the. Is it the Gaffer? Maybe. Yeah. There's gonna be. I mean, there's whereas on some weekends the strategy is clear. You're going to want to go Stars and Scrubs, or this movie is going to do this or whatever. But because the box office is, I mean, it's concentrated, but it's still kind of wide open because of the success of those platform films. I mean, they can go anywhere. I mean, it's almost like a similar type of genre film is our faith-based films. Like those are very high variance plays. They're either going to explode or they're going to fizzle. Like I'm Not Ashamed is almost out of the movie theaters this week. They're on like 100 screens, whereas it opened at 505 this last week. So they can either boom or bust really quickly. And same thing with foreign films. It's just, it's not quite gambling on what's going to perform well. I mean, maybe you can pick up some social cues or whatever, but it's really kind of tough to predict at times what some of those smaller platform films are going to do. And on this call sheet, this call sheet's a little more traditional, I guess. It's pretty much You're Strange, a Moonlight, not even a headliner. I don't think I could afford it. Headliner and Ideal High Mushkil though, and then punting the rest. So that's not very innovative. I had a really good call sheet. I wish I'd played, but I don't think it's in here. Is it in the key grip? Probably not. I'm really very intrigued by. Now this is the same one I had in the feature presentation. So I'm really intrigued to see all the new players. We've got several new players this week in the feature presentation. Some family. I see you, Linda. Sorry, you're not eligible to win any money, but we've got some family out here. We've got some returning. You know what? Here's one last call sheet I want to take a look at, if you don't mind, real quick. Jay Devlin is Kelly. Now Kelly is the wife of Jaybird, and we do have an ad that says the family, the couple that drafts together lasts together or something. But it's true. She's good. She's legit good. We don't have power rankings or player standings or anything yet. Once we get more resources and funded, wink, wink, nod, nod. Someone fund us, please. We will definitely track player ratings and standings and stuff. But she is a powerhouse. She's been consistently in the top 5 for all 2 weeks that she's played, outplaying her husband, by far. Sorry, Jaybird, I'm going to listen to this, but it's true. I mean, your girl's beating you. What can I say? So let's take a look at her call sheet. Now, this is a very interesting call sheet. She's got Doctor Strange. She's got some trolls. She's got hacks already. This is like a poo-poo platter of success.
I love this call sheet. I love this call sheet.
What are you doing, Kelly? What is your day job? We need to get her on the podcast straight up. I'm not sure if this is going to succeed or not, but I love all the headliners that are involved. I love the diversity of movies that are probably going to perform. I mean,
this call sheet could win. I'm calling it right now.
I'm calling this a top 3 call sheet. Kelly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kelly, we have to get you on the program at some point, whether it's for a review or an hour long, but this is a really interesting call sheet. I'm definitely going to look for you at the top of the leaderboard in the feature presentation next week. I mean, and I'm just going to keep hitting that PayPal for Kelly. I mean, this is what it is.
This is a creative call sheet. It's not like my mindless call sheet where I just took the 2 guys from the best movie and then just kind of figured out who to stick in. This is like a very thoughtful. I mean, Hacksaw Ridge, if it does 12, 13, 14 million,
she's in.
And then these platforms, like she can get like 10, 12 from these platforms.
Yeah.
If Strange comes down a little bit, it kills every 2 Doctor Strange lineup. So if you play 2 from Doctor Strange, you have to have like 75 million minimum to even be like considered a chance to win. If that movie does less than 65, anybody with 2 Doctor Stranges can't win because you're not going to get enough from everywhere else.
And that's the sharp, incisive kind of strategy that we've come to expect from Jay Devlin these days. Because I guess I'm too much of an optimist. I'm always thinking about like what if this succeeds? I rarely think about, well, what if it underperforms? And you're absolutely right. If Doctor Strange underperforms, those two Doctor Strange call sheets, they're fairly dead. They'll have a lot of pretty points, but they won't have what's needed to edge you out. A point or 2 here for the top spot and the $70 prize in the feature presentation this week. Mm-hmm. So Excellent analysis always, Jay Devlin. Thanks for being on the program as usual. Love having you. You're welcome anytime for your insightful analysis. I'm not sure if you'll be available. We will be doing a weekend wrap up and breakdown of the winners and the results Monday afternoon/evening.
Ed, I'm always available for any kind of micropod.
Yes.
Break down the cinema draft. I'm sure I will be crying about my awful strategy come Monday. I'm actually rooting for Kelly now. Kelly is my new favorite player.
You hear that, Kelly? You're our new favorite player. I'm sure Jason Green, aka Jaybird, in our group chat will be proud to hear that. I mean, and this is such a fun. This is gonna be a very fun weekend. I mean, going into it on the surface, it seemed like it was gonna be Doctor Strange and everybody else fighting for scraps. But I'm really intrigued by the diversity of strategy. So everybody, get into the cinema draft game if you aren't playing already, but listening to this podcast. Tell your friends. Have them come to cinemadraft.co. That is cinemadraft.co. Follow us on all of our social media at pretty much at CinemaDraft or at Play CinemaDraft everywhere. And of course, subscribe to iTunes, rate us, like us, bump us. We've got plenty of great content for you to get into the game. And this is Eduardo Jackson, the creator, founder, and CEO of CinemaDraft, signing off. Thanks again to my guest, Jay Devlin, for turning out, and we will see you all later. I need a log off.